This week is where comfort starts getting punished because a lot of teams still want credit for what they used to be. BYU is staring at Houston like one bad night could define their entire March. Illinois is 1 win away of locking up the Big Ten if Michigan State doesn't turn it into a street fight. Duke and North Carolina both look flawed in ways that matter. Gonzaga's cracks aren't theoretical anymore. And Purdue looks great again, but the calendar doesn't care. One more soft landing before a stretch that actually tells us whether this team is built to survive when the margins disappears. This isn't about rankings. This is about habits. Who's fixing problems? Who's hiding behind the schedule? And who's about to find out that February does not care where you were in November? If you are a listener of the Bench Points podcast, you've probably noticed that I am not Sam or Brad. My name is
Prettier
Becca.
version.
That's right. Prettier version of Sam and Brad. But my name is Becca, and I am fortunately Jake's wife. Something
Sounded like the fortunately was a little forced.
That's right. Something that's kind of fun about this particular podcast is I know nothing about basketball. So I am super excited to join Jake tonight and chat with you guys and gals out there about basketball and all things around it. So if you're wondering why I'm not Sam or Brad, now you know.
I don't think you explained why you're not saying that. You just said that you're not.
Yeah. I don't have a good explanation about why I'm not. I'm just not. So thanks for having me. I know you are a really passionate basketball fan, and that's something
You hate.
Yeah, I kind of do, but that's okay. We are going to kick off this particular podcast with a breakdown of Monday night's games.
Yeah.
Games that happened earlier this week. It doesn't matter when they happened. If you're a true basketball fan, you just know them. So the first game we are going to chat about is Xavier at UConn. What you think, Jake?
Not much to say here. It's nice to see UConn kind of flex a little bit. I know Sam has been kind of up, like me and him have been going back and forth saying who, like if UConn is a top tier team, and my argument has been is you got to blow the bad teams out if you're going to be a top tier team, and they finally did it twice in a row, but not going so well tonight. So they did it twice in a row. Maybe they come back and pull off this win over St. John's, but not looking great. I just if you're going to be a top tier team, and this is kind of proving my argument, you got to blow the bad teams out. You can't let bad teams hang around. And if you let bad teams hang around long enough, you're going to get caught. Just like Michigan State did, and looks like UConn's going to get caught tonight.
Who did you say Sam was for in that matchup?
He's for UConn. I was just me and him. This tells me how much you pay attention to our podcast. Me and him have disagreed about whether UConn should be like a 1 seed or not, like the top 4 teams.
Okay. If Sam's for UConn, I'm going to be for Xavier.
The game's over.
Fabulous. Okay. Next up on our list is Boston College at Duke. Already, before you speak, I know the game's already happened. I do know that Duke won. I knew that without looking at my notes. And I also know that Jake Walker is a huge Duke fan. And if you've listened to this podcast one time, I'm certain you know that as well.
Not much to say here. Duke's defense is otherworldly right now, but the offense has kind of disappeared. And that worries me going into Saturday. We'll get into more of that later. Only 2 guys with double figures. They had 2 games in a row without scoring 75 against very bad competition. So if the same rule applies for UConn, at least they're still blowing them out, but you still got to be able to score because they've scored below 75 in the last 2 games, and they did that 3 times in the first 20 games. They've got to get it all together if they plan on going far in March, but the defense is, holding teams to under 50 is crazy in a 40-minute game with a 3-point line. That's like cheat code good defense.
Cheat code good defense. Something I've noticed in the first 5 minutes of this podcast is Jake keeps saying, you got to blow them out. You got to blow them out. And one thing you may not know about us is we have a 14-month-old who sometimes does have blowouts, which we frequently don't cheer for. This is a different version of that, which is interesting. Okay, third matchup that we're going to chat about is St. Louis at Davidson.
St. Louis pulled this one out, needed a little bit of magic at the end. Davidson is a very weak team this year in the A-10. I don't know what stumbling blocks are going to happen. I'm not that worried about St. Louis, but something I've noticed over the last few games, especially when St. Louis struggles, is Robbie Avila is shooting way too many threes. I think he was 1 of 8 in this game. That's a recipe to get beat when your center leading you and shooting the amount of threes and then not hitting them well. It's different if you go 7 of 8 because then that's a good shot. Now 1 of 8, bad shot. If you're a St. Louis Billiken fan, that's got to make you real nervous going into everything because your non-conference schedule wasn't that great. So anytime that you're not in control of your fate, It's got to make you real nervous when you're a mid-major team coming to March. So get that fixed.
Get that fixed. You heard it here first, or maybe second, because this game happened earlier in the week. Okay, next up, we're going to talk about St. John's at, is it DePaul?
DePaul.
Is there
DePaul is a different school.
Okay, DePaul, not to be confused with DePaul, which is located in Indiana. So anyway, scratch that. Backing up just a little bit. The next game is St. John's versus DePaul.
So my note on this game was this a bad sign or just a look ahead spot for the UConn game that's happening right now? Looks like it was just a look ahead spot. They overlooked DePaul a little bit. I believe they're behind at half, came back and won by 12. They're looking good tonight. So don't think it was a bad sign at all.
Fabulous. Next on our list is Miami, Ohio versus Buffalo.
Look, this was the last remaining really hard game they had on their schedule. Took it to the wire, 2-point game. They did it. We're looking at an undefeated season here and a team that if they drop a game in the tournament with an undefeated record won't make the big tournament. So that's just a lot of pressure, and I don't know if they're going to do it because, I mean, that's a lot of pressure to put on every game. You cannot lose. You cannot mess up.
It's very Indiana of them. I know, but Indiana did that.
They did.
Indiana football team.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what and when and how they do it. And like, if they get caught in the regular season, that's a lot easier than in the conference tournament because it's win or die.
Win or die. Next up is Ole Miss versus Tennessee.
Hey, look, tell of two halves. 1-point lead going into the second half, and Tennessee looked terrible, and I was ready to throw my remote through the TV and just be done with this team. And then the second half happens, and Nate Minute goes for 26 points, almost half of Tennessee's 58. After scoring 26 in the first half, they absolutely took over. Only 8 turnovers is amazing because this team is normally like 19, 20 turnovers. So 8 is incredible. 4 guys in double figures, still struggling for the free throw line. Got to figure that out if we're going to beat some of these top 2 teams, especially with the Kentucky game coming up tomorrow because that already burned us once, dropping a 17-point lead at home, bunch of jerks. But one of the craziest things in this game, and I don't even know if you've even seen this, the Chris Beard stuff. I'm not even sure. I mean, they did foul a lot. There was a lot of fouls called on him. I'm not exactly sure what sent him over the edge, but goes nuts. I mean, I think he's 30 feet out on the court going after one of the refs. The coach is trying to hold him back. He pushes the assistant coach off. Then the coach comes back, and then he punches the assistant coach in the gut. And then as he's being led off the floor, turns around, sprints to his team's huddle, goes, yells at everybody in the huddle more, and leaves.
Why was he mad?
I mean, he was just complaining at the refs. I don't know. Somebody can tell me.
Did he get in trouble?
Yeah, he got tossed. I'm sure he's going to get fined, but like, I don't know.
Interesting.
I mean, at least hey, look, at least he punched a man this time instead of choking his partner.
Is he a coach?
No. Well, lost his Texas Tech job because domestic violence.
So he's just doing regular violence now?
Just regular, just out in public.
Yuck. I don't know about that. I was going to say good things about Tennessee, but I don't like that.
Well, you know what? He's the Ole Miss coach.
He did what?
He's the Ole Miss coach.
Oh, he's the Ole Miss coach. Great. Fabulous. That's fine. That is fine if the Ole Miss coach is acting right. I know I talked about Jake loving Duke, and the only team that rivals Jake's passion for Duke is Tennessee. And I know when Tennessee basketball game is on because there's yelling, there's stomping, there's aggravation every single time. So when he said he was ready to throw in the towel on this team, every single game, at some point in the game, he's ready to throw in the towel. So nothing new there. You're going to have to find a new line. Yeah. There we go. So next up is Northwestern versus Illinois.
That was a crime scene.
It was 88-44.
That was bad. It was real bad. I know we've gone on about this in the past and stuff. But how do the recruiting services miss Wagler, whatever his name is? Ranking him 150th in this class is insane with what he's putting up and what he's doing. I mean, just the Purdue game alone. But I'm not sure this guy has bad games. I'm not sure.
Are you saying Ragler was a straggler?
No, I'm saying the recruiting services just totally just either didn't watch this guy play and just gave him a random ranking, or weren't sure.
Is he a freshman?
And it was ranked 150th in his class and given 4-star. Who's arguably, in my opinion, the top 3 team right now, probably the best team of the Big Ten. They are absolutely. They just went to Nebraska, beat Nebraska, and came home after that and destroyed Northwestern. They got a big game in Michigan State coming up Saturday. They're deep, they're tall, they play great defense. I mean, Wagler is having an amazing year and doing great, but there's always one or two guys that Illinois has that shows up and also puts double figures. I mean, they had 5 guys in double figures in this game, but I'm not sure how much that means anything when you're beating a team by 40. There's just a lot of points being scored anyway. But my opinion, this is a team to beat in the Big Ten, and I don't know that it should even be questioned like that.
You think he'll be number one?
No, Arizona would have to lose. It's there's an argument to be made, I would say.
Lovely. So now I know when I'm working on my bracket to pay special close attention to Illinois. Next is Gonzaga at Portland.
We told you, and we told you, Gonzaga. What are you doing, struggling with these bad teams out there? That's exactly what we talked about with UConn. Is that Gonzaga gets caught by Portland, who is terrible. I don't think they'd beat Gonzaga in 20 years, and finally did it. And they were in control of this game. But there's some issues here, and this game is the relevance of this game is crazy because one, it's like a quad 3 loss or something crazy like that. So it's going to drop Gonzaga from a 2 seed to a 3 or 4 seed. But now they have a chance of not even winning their conference outright because this matchup that they have with Santa Clara on Valentine's Day is going to be massive because Santa Clara happens to win this. It's at Santa Clara. They're in the driver's seat for the conference, and that changes the whole outlook on Gonzaga. You're starting to look at 5, 6 seed instead of an argument being for a 1 seed because they cannot handle their own conference, and it's a garbage conference as it is.
Garbage conference. It was a high scoring game on both teams.
I'm happy for them. Gonzaga should be beating these guys by 20, 15, 20, 30. Have to go into overtime with some of them and losing by 7.
Get it together, James. Okay, next up is UCF at Houston.
It was a nice try, UCF. You had a good
University of Central Florida.
Yes, that's it. That's what UCF stands for. Um, Houston's defense is on lock. I mean, it was finally nice to see a good game out of Sadak that didn't need a 3 ball. He wouldn't. My 7-foot guys depend on the 3 ball to get the double figures. But Houston's defense is all over this team. I mean, this UCF team just beat Texas Tech, beat somebody else too, real close to it. 2 very good teams, and like Houston might be hitting their stride at the right time. Happy for them because it makes Tennessee's records look better because Tennessee beat Houston early on. But that was a completely different Houston team than what we're seeing now. That scares me coming into March.
Love that. Go Houston. Go Texas. The whole thing. The whole thing. Okay. We've got just a couple more games here. Michigan State at Minnesota.
The big story coming out of this one is Jeremy Fears. Putting Grayson Allen to shame with the dirty plays he's doing. Jumping up, elbowing guys in the face, tripping them, diving at knees. And I mean, this is the next game right after Dusty May and Michigan called him out for it and said the dirty play is the team. And it's all over everywhere you're seeing it. And it cost this team the game. Getting those technicals and that gave all the extra free throws to Minnesota, who made 22 of their 31 free throws in a 3-point game. That's the difference in the game is the extra free throws, and Minnesota made it pay for it. I've been saying for a long time this Minnesota team is the best bad team out there because they're not very good, but they will make you work for it. And they took Michigan State out here, and I mean that's going to hurt big time. The whole Fears thing is crazy because Izzo's talking about suspending him and all that. And when you've got a massive game with Illinois coming up tomorrow, then that's probably cost him any chance at Big Ten Player of the Year, which I think he was in the running for. A first team honors. Like, you can't have your first team guy out there with a highlight reel of kicking guys and tripping on them and like just dirty plays. If you do, then you've got no morals, which means
sounds like he should play for Mississippi.
I was going to go with North Carolina or Kentucky. They traditionally have no morals, but hey, whatever.
I like a good team with no morals. A good villain story.
It's just interesting because this Michigan State team has a big weakness in the fact that they're sloppy with the ball and they can't shoot. And if you take him out for any period of time against a team like Illinois, it's going to be very painful.
We don't want that. Or maybe we do, depending on who they're playing.
Depending on your feelings of Michigan State.
Okay, last game on our list is BYU at Oklahoma State.
Look, not a lot to say in this game. At this point, I'm not sure BYU should be a top 25 team. They are playing very bad. Their record is not great. They have 3 wins of value with Villanova, Clemson, and Wisconsin. After that, they lose at a game that is supposed to be tight. They just beat the crap out of a few teams. Look, I mean, they're on the line for a 5 seed at best. To me, they cannot do anything in the Big 12. They're struggling big time. I mean, AJ DeBenza, incredible, great player. No argument that he's a top 3 pick, but he cannot carry this team. He's been figured out a little bit, and they just make him very inefficient. And the rest of the team just does not provide any help. I mean, their bench had 39 minutes to combine for 9 points of 2 of 10 shooting. You can't do that in big time conference plays. Big 12 is a fantastic conference this year, and there's no off nights, and BYU just proved it.
Totally. We have more games.
Those are the games that happened.
Oh.
Now we talk about the games that are going to happen.
Great. So this is going to be a past and future setup. So these we're going to.
Well, first, we're going to check in on this UConn St. John's game that really has gotten really tight. So one
Is it happening right now?
Yeah, it's right here. Watch it right here. It's a 1 point game.
Who is winning?
St. John's is. Well, look, this is the thing we said about UConn when we previewed a little bit of this game was to beat UConn, you have to beat them all the way through. You cannot leave any air. And St. John's learning that the hard way because they got up to 6 or 7 there. And now it's to the point where they've got to start making free throws. There's 5 minutes left. It's 1 point game. And UConn will probably win this game. St. John's shows a fight. Like to see that. But like I said, you've got to beat UConn thoroughly. And letting them hang around is a bad story, and that's what St. John's is seeming to do. But this pressure defense and the pressing and forcing the turnovers has shown a bit of a weakness in UConn. So it's been a fun game to watch in Madison Square Garden.
I'm going to go for St. John's.
That's what I'm for.
Okay, great. We're both going against Sam?
Yeah.
Listen up, Sam. If you're watching.
He's not.
We're picking you, or not UConn. Oh, this is our dog. Her name's Lady. Okay.
So these are the games that are going to happen on Saturday.
These are the games that are going to happen on Saturday, tomorrow, February. But
the number with a negative is who's favored.
Great. Nebraska at Rutgers.
The question I was going to have asked here is this a trap game, or does the back-to-back losses erase any chance that Nebraska's not going to pay attention to Rutgers? Rutgers has won 2 games in 2026, and they have more 30-point losses than they do have wins.
Bless their hearts. Why are they making them play?
I mean, Rutgers came out and said their athletic department is in like $30 million of debt after this year. So
they want
I don't
that
know.
check, baby.
I guess
they're pimping themselves out.
I tried it. It's not working well. But I don't think Nebraska's going to, like Hoiberg will let Nebraska sleepwalk in this game. Do they cover? I don't know, because on the road, if 3 ball's not going, like that 12.5, 13 points they need, it's going to be tough to come by. But it's not something I would put any weight behind, but I don't think Nebraska has any trouble here with Rutgers.
Nope. Nebraska, baby. Okay, next up is Syracuse at Virginia.
Look, another game. The story is more about the coach than either team, really. I don't know how hot. It should be extremely hot, but Danico Autry's seat is. He has absolutely killed any chance he has of being remembered as a good thing for Syracuse.
Is he a coach?
Carmelo Anthony, who just bought and paid a nice practice facility for him, is very unhappy with what he's doing, and his son's on the teams. He's got a big voice there. I think Autry's going to be looking for a job in April, but because I don't see a way Syracuse is going to make the tournament unless some magic happens. But Virginia, at the same time, their offense has just fallen off a cliff since conference play started.
Negatively?
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Their only chance is to keep Syracuse from mucking this game up enough to put them away. I mean, Syracuse will not stop playing. That is to their credit, because North Carolina game, they were down 31, came back, brought it to within 10. Virginia has nowhere near the offensive talent that North Carolina has, so I don't know they'll get up 31. So they're going to have to keep their foot down, and they've not been good at that this year.
Have you ever had a Carmelo candy?
Yes.
They're delicious.
They are good.
Next up, Arkansas at Mississippi State.
This is very confusing.
Close game.
It's supposed to be 5.5. I wouldn't lay 5.5 with Arkansas on the road, especially after that Kentucky game. That performance was terrible. But at the same time, there's not many teams I wouldn't back at going against Mississippi State. So it's just, I don't know what to do. Arkansas is just struggling on the road, and their defense is absolutely sucks. And they're a one horse team. You make Acuff inefficient, which this is like, just because it's easy to figure out how to make a team bad doesn't mean it's easy to do, because nobody's been able to really do it. You make Acuff play inefficient, and this Arkansas team is very easy to pick apart, especially on the road. They don't really play good defense. They've got a terrible coach, and Cal does no figures for them. Don't think Mississippi State is going to do it, but it should be fun to watch Hubbard and Acuff duel, because Acuff plays pretty good defense. Hubbard doesn't play any defense, but Hubbard will also shoot it from 90 feet away and make it. So it should be fun to watch. I think it's a noon game too, so.
What I'm noticing is there are a lot of unequally yoked teams playing each other.
It happens in conference play, because you have Oregon, who can't figure out how to.
Don't talk about Oregon yet. We got to announce them.
Sorry.
Oregon.
Took your job from you. I'm sorry.
Yes, that's my job. Next up, before Jake so rudely interrupted is Oregon at Purdue.
The only question here is because Oregon can't figure out how to basketball this year.
The Ducks. They have a terrible court,
Yes,
which
they
is
do have
half the
that.
problem.
But they're playing at Purdue this time, so we don't have to worry about that. The only question here is when last Purdue played earlier, like last weekend, they destroyed America. Fletcher Lawyer finally figured out how to shoot a basketball. Smith looked good. TKR played well. Clough played okay. Cox, Harris, everybody's played well. Big win. Then they take a week off. How much of that big win and shooting and stuff carries through? Because this is their bye game, and then they have a terrible stretch coming up. I think it's Michigan State, Illinois, and Michigan all back, or Nebraska, all back to back here. Kid Palm hasn't predicted to lose all three. But if we see the Purdue team that played against Maryland, that blew out Texas Tech by 30 and was playing at the beginning of the year, there's no way they're losing all three. They might lose one, but if that offense doesn't come through and Fletcher goes back to a shell where he can't hit anything, Harris and Cox can't help out, and it's all on Smith's shoulders. And because TKR and Clough cannot play at the same time, they cannot exist at the same time. You've got to get Benter in that lineup more to spread them out, and Painter seems to refuse to make that decision. And
how long has he been the coach?
20 years, 20 plus years.
Holy smokes.
I mean, Purdue's not had a ton of coaches. They went from Katie to him, and Katie was there.
He's also had the same hairstyle for 30 plus years.
It worked for him. He bagged a cheerleader.
Bless her heart. Bless her heart. Good luck. What's her name?
Cheerleader.
Good luck, cheerleader. I hope you enjoy being the beneficiary. Okay, next up, Oklahoma State at Arizona. This was even more unequally yoked. Is that how you say that?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware. Look, this is the last easy game Arizona has. They've played the bottom of the Big 12 and have taken care of business, not taking anything away. They're 22-0, 23-0. They are in, this could be very much a trap game. Hopefully not, because Oklahoma State just upset BYU, and BYU gave Arizona a run for the money in Provo. But they got Kansas on Monday, so that's a quick turnaround, and they're on the road to Kansas. Weird things haven't happened with fall.
In Kansas?
Yeah, Fog Island in particular, because it's almost like the refs are paid for a little bit.
Weird things
happen there.
Have you seen Wizard of Oz?
I have.
Something weird happened in Kansas.
They weren't in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
But the pace of these two teams, everything is going to go Arizona's way. Because everything Oklahoma State wants to do, Arizona is better at, and a lot better at it. Oklahoma State's defense has fallen off a cliff. They just gave up 90 plus to BYU, and I don't see them getting anything right against Arizona. I think Arizona handles their business. But like I said, could be a trap game. Here's a good question for you, Becca.
Here's a trap game.
Do you think it's an issue to not lose before you go into March Madness?
No.
You don't think it's an issue? You don't think at some point every team loses?
You can't go undefeated if you lose.
That's true. That's the definition of undefeated.
That's what I'm saying.
But we haven't had an undefeated team in basketball since the 70s.
Bring it back.
Oh,
Indiana did it.
In the 70s.
No, this year.
Football.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier to only win 16 games versus 4.
No, I say if you're going to dream big. Don't lose.
I'm not saying they should lose. I'm saying
who's undefeated?
Arizona. They're 23-0.
They're fine.
They're fine in this game. But I'm asking the point is, is it a bad news if they go into the NCAA tournament undefeated? Because it feels like you're going to lose at some point, and you might as well get it out of the way before you get into where you don't have a second game. And
write this down. Becca Walker is saying Arizona's going to win March Madness undefeated, 40-0.
All right, let's see it. They're good enough to do it.
Let's make a bet.
I'm not betting that.
No, against me. Yeah, you are.
What do you?
I never want to do laundry again.
No, I'm not taking never. Never is not acceptable here.
Okay, until March 2027.
For a year?
Yeah.
Okay, that means you're doing it without yelling at me if it doesn't.
Okay, fine. If Arizona wins the whole March Madness, I don't do laundry for an entire year.
Okay.
I'm the biggest damn Arizona fan that has ever walked there.
Deal.
What is their mascot?
Bearcats.
Go Bearcats. Go Bearcats. Go Bearcats. Okay, next up. Gonzaga at Oregon State.
Bounce back. That's got to be right. Otherwise, Gonzaga's got some real issues. Free throw percentage, rebounding, and three-point shooting have died off in conference play. This team, which makes no sense because they're playing against a garbage conference that shouldn't be anywhere near them. It's very worrying if you are a Gonzaga fan. Same time, they might not be motivated after just wiping the floor with everybody but Michigan in the non-conference, which is also terrifying for me because by being bored, you're going to get caught every once in a while, and you're not going to get. If you get caught in March, there's no bounce back game because it's just done.
You keep saying get caught. Do you mean like get beat?
Lost, like get caught by a team that shouldn't be anywhere near you.
Hmm.
Like Portland. They were 20+ point favorite. So this game is technically it's supposed to be closer than the Portland game was, and they lost to Portland. So we'll see what happens. I'm not touching this game from a betting perspective because I don't trust Gonzaga as much as I can throw them.
You said a lot of dissing to Gonzaga.
Oh, I'm very anti Gonzaga. I think they get a lot of credit for doing what they're supposed to do.
Okay, I don't even want to say this name of this game because it's going to cause turmoil. Duke at North Carolina.
Nothing on the defensive end, and their best defensive player, Vassar, can't stay out of foul trouble. Wilson is not a good defender. Duke has the depth of big guys to battle with them, so this game's going to be determined with the guards. It's just like if Boozer gets no help from any guard whatsoever, he needs some outside shooting to open up the lane a little bit for him. It's going to be hard for Duke to win, let alone cover. I mean, at 5.5, it's a fairly close game. If Evans, Foster, and the other Boozer and Kaminya can't do anything on the outside of their arc, it's going to be very, very hard game for Duke. But no, at the same time, North Carolina, like this is a great game to kind of figure that out because North Carolina plays zero defense. It's on the road. It's going to be tough. Like they shoot terrible from everywhere. But I'm going to lay the points to Duke. I don't think North Carolina's got the team this year. They've done well.
Of course, you're picking Duke.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
He's biased.
I also picked Minnesota. And you watched the last episode. I picked Minnesota over Michigan State. That was plus 300 and 3x on your money in your pocket. So I'm going to lay the points to Duke. I'm going to take the 5.5.
Duke could be playing Jesus Christ and a band of angels, and he'd pick Duke.
Advantage.
I got a feeling he plays defense.
He might. But you also got to play offense too. And jump shot is hard to learn.
You're saying Jesus can't jump?
Jesus can't hit a curveball? No, I don't think North Carolina has the offense. Their guards are a little struggle. And one thing about Duke's guards is they've played great defense. Defense wins championships. Defense travels. I know it's a long travel. It's like 8 miles. I think the Duke's defense flexes here, and we see just enough offense to get them to win by double digits.
Double digits? You're calling something. All right. Next up, we got Illinois at Michigan State. I thought we already talked about this. Did they play each other?
No, we talked about the two teams individually, but now they're playing each other.
Wait, what time does Duke Carolina play?
6.
Okay, so I need to be somewhere.
This game happens right after. Like Michigan State, the key to Illinois is making Wagler look human for at least a 4-minute stretch. If Fears doesn't play, like the Fears dirty play plus the talk of suspension, there's no way it doesn't have a big effect on this game or any effect. It's just how much of an effect does it have on best player from Michigan State. Illinois wins this. They pretty much have a chokehold on at least a share of the Big Ten title. I think they are going to take care of business. They're the worst team at forcing turnovers, and I do mean the worst. They rank 365 out of 365 teams.
That hurts allergic to Michigan State.
That absolutely hurts their ability to take advantage of Michigan State's biggest weakness. But at the same time, Michigan State doesn't have the size. They don't have the shooting. They don't have the players to lock up here with Illinois. I'm taking Illinois in the money line. I know Michigan State is favored by 1.5, but I think the Fears craziness and the talk of suspension, and if Izzo does it on Saturday, I mean, props to him for suspending his best player and his point guard on one of the biggest games of the season, for having the cojones to do that and not just wait till they play nobody state. But I think even at full strength, this Illinois team is the better team. I think they are a top 3 team in the nation right now, and I don't think their defense gets talked about enough for how good they are and how hard they make things. And you get one shot against this Illinois team. You do
one opportunity.
Yeah, you don't get 2 and 3.
The chance to blow.
Yeah, that too. But Illinois, I think they won this 3 or 4 points.
Lovely. He's saying Illinois 3 or 4 points. Duke got double digits.
They're also playing a top 10 team on the road. Like,
okay,
come on, man.
All right. Next up, we have Florida at Texas A&M.
Like, this is officially for first in the SEC, which is a wild statement to make with Texas A&M, with the predictions of them coming in. I think this is I have no clue what I would do in this game.
Play basketball.
Yeah. This is an extremely interesting matchup because Florida's weakness all year, and we've talked about it at nauseum, is their guards and their pitching to turn the ball over and not be able to score. Well, buckyball absolutely makes that very, very prominent, like makes that weakness show way up because they press and it's hard and it's fast and they come at you all 40 minutes. Tough. It'll be tough on them. If Florida's guards are off by a little bit, they will get taken advantage of on this buckyball Texas A&M team. Same time, the biggest weakness Texas A&M has as the biggest strength Florida has. Florida has probably the best front court in the nation. I don't think you can really even argue it. But Texas A&M is bad. That showed up in the Texas A&M Tennessee game when Tennessee won in double overtime. Texas A&M forced like 9,000 turnovers and scored a bunch of points off them, but they just couldn't clean up possessions, couldn't rebound. Tennessee took advantage of that and offensive glass. They got eventually won the game. I think that's how this goes. I think it's close. I think it's tight. And I think Florida's rebounds eventually take over. But who knows what happens on the road? And Florida's shown up. They've shown the ability to forget how to play good basketball, especially their guards. And if that happens here on the road at Texas A&M with the way they play, gets the crowd involved, this could be a fun result and give Texas A&M the actual, like I called them the biggest frauds last week, the biggest fraud first place team. If they pull this off, like they just lost to Alabama by 3, which was an incredible game. But if they win this one, I will have to eat those words, but I don't think that's going to happen.
We'll see. Okay, next up. Y'all do a lot of games.
Saturdays are big.
Next up, neighborhood rivalry here. Tennessee at Kentucky.
No clue what's going to happen in this game, really. Just depends on which version of which team we get each half. Tennessee was up 17 in the second half, gave the game away at home. Kentucky just got beat by 30 by Vandy, who lost their second best player for the year well before that. And then, I mean, if Tennessee can take care of the ball and have aggressive movement, this is like they did in the second half of Ole Miss. But if they show up like they did in the first half of the Ole Miss game, it's terrible. And like Kentucky just went on the road and beat Arkansas. That was a great win for them. They had to come back win against Tennessee, but if they show the team that got beat by Vandy by 30 at Vandy or lose to Missouri at home, Tennessee's going to absolutely take advantage of them. I don't think Barnes drops 2 to Kentucky again this year. I'm going to pick Tennessee on the money line. You can follow me if you want. I think the immense we've seen over the last 5 games where he's averaging 24, 25 points, along with the Gillespie. And rumor is Akpara's going to be playing, so we got just a little bit better. I don't trust Kentucky can keep scoring. I think that was a kind of a fluke thing that happened where they made that 17-point comeback. I think the actual game of this was Tennessee up 17. So I think Tennessee will take the win on the road here.
Very nice. Lastly, for Saturday, we have Houston at BYU.
I was going to be excited about this game. I thought it was going to be a fantastic game. BYU has shown me that is not the case. BYU is looking hard at their March prospects right now. They need to get Houston to get in those upper top 4 seeds. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Houston's going to go to Provo and dominate them. I think that defense is suffocating. I'm not sure Houston really has a matchup for AJ, and they foul a lot, which kind of helps him out. But at every other position, BYU is way outclassed. And I think that comes back to bite them. The no bench, not having a great point guard like Flemings and Uze or Sharp, which all 3 play for Houston, it's just going to burn them. And I think Houston wins this game. I think they easily cover the 1.5. All right, that concludes our Saturday preview. Now we're going to our new segment that Becca has just come up with on the spot. She wants to play basketball, true or false. I have no clue where this is going.
You have to ask me questions, and then I say true or false. So you make a statement about a basketball player or a basketball team or basketball anything, and I say true or false.
I didn't know I was running this segment.
No, you don't look something up. You get why?
Because like everything I would talk about would be opinion based. Why? We're just going to test Becca's true knowledge of just general basketball.
Got it.
So true or false? A field goal is worth 3 points.
True.
False.
Field goal.
That's football.
But usually, they do this.
It's kind of 2, but
that was a trick question. That doesn't count. Go on.
A substitute can enter a game at any time.
False.
Hey, got that right.
You got to kneel by the scoreboard first. You have to propose to the scoreboard.
It's more if you have to check in on the scores table, but sure. Basketball was developed by Dr. James A. Mason.
True.
Yeah, that's very true. Let's see. The Golden State Warriors have always played in California.
False.
True. No, false. You're right. You got it right. Am I right?
You're trying to trick me.
I am trying a little bit. Closely guarded violations can occur in both the backcourt and the front court.
Closely guarded? False.
That's true. You can get closely guarded violation at any point.
How are you supposed to guard somebody if you're not closely?
Well, you got to give them some room.
No room.
No room. No. I mean, that's the way I used to be, and that's the way I'd love to play a little bit more. But,
can I tell the watchers a basketball fun fact?
Yeah, all 17 of them.
Okay, everyone, if you're still here and you're not our
please
moms,
God, don't be.
We're going to tell you a basketball fun fact about basketball in general. One time we went on a beach vacation with a group of our friends. There were like, what, 8 or 10 of us? And there were like 8 or 10 of us that went from Indiana down to Florida. And we were
Oh,
staying in a retirement community, and it was literally the most fun I've ever had on vacation. And we were all in a group, and we wanted to go drink as a group of 20 somethings, 30 somethings do when they're out on vacation, childless and whatnot. So we drove to the closest bar because that was our strategy. And we all got out of our rental cars that we'd piled in. And we got out, and there were like two people at the bar. And one of them was this girl who was sitting outside smoking. And she said, "Y'all don't want to come in here. My name's Pickles, and y'all don't fit in with this crowd." So it was a biker bar, but I think all of us are pretty versatile people. And so we fit in fine at biker bar. So we were like, we don't really trust Pickles, who I think may have had a damaged trachea at some point. So we went into this bar, and everybody sat down, started drinking, and the owner came out. Her name was Rosie, and she did pass away. Not at the bar while we were there. Years later, she did, but she became our friend, and she said, "Y'all check out." And so she thought we were cool and fit in and whatnot. So it was really cool, and we thought it was fun. But the basketball part of the bar story
that is a
is,
long way to get to the basketball.
yeah, sorry, the basketball part is this bar had two things that were very memorable. One, they had a dog that lived in the kitchen. And two, there was a basketball goal in the alley outside, and the workers and patrons of this bar would go into the alley and play basketball and drink vodka. And it was so fun.
It was fun. It was a good time.
And it was called Rosie's. The bar was called Rosie's
Sebastian,
in
Florida?
Sebastian, Florida. So if it's still there and you're ever in Sebastian, Florida, go there, drink vodka, don't listen to Pickles, and play basketball in the alley. It sounds sketchy, and it is.
Still fun.
Yes, yeah, you should do it. Okay. Our last segment that we are gonna move into is bench behavior.
Yeah, and like this is the part where we tell somebody they deserve to be on the bench. It's kind of weird on this one because Kelvin Sampson's already on the bench. Like there is no excuse for a guy who is a perennial top coaching a perennial top 5, top 10 team, that just came out of the national championship, went to I think 2 Final Fours in the last 3 years, saying he can't recruit because his athletic department is poor and begging for money. If it's that big of a deal, my dude, give some of that $6 million a year back. Maybe buy a couple players with half that salary. I don't know. And obviously, buying the players doesn't get you anywhere. Kentucky's paying $20 million to be questionable if they're going to be ranked or not each week. So you're doing great with what you have. You are a fantastic coach. Stick to that. Don't go to the media and cry and complain and bitch and moan about not having enough money. That just looks bad. Sit way far down on the bench.
Needs a bigger allowance. He can't keep up with the other kids.
That's sad. I'm sorry. Just keep beating him.
Poor Kelvin.
Not poor Kelvin. He's not poor. He's making $6 million a year.
But comparatively, how much do other coaches make?
Not that much.
Really?
He's probably one of the higher paid ones.
I just
And he's
assumed.
deserved it. He's a great coach.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying, but I just wondered, like, comparatively, if he's making 6 and everybody else is making 26.
He's not asking for more money for him to be paid.
I know that.
He's saying, hey, athletic department.
Has he tried a bake sale? A fundraiser of some sort?
Yeah, maybe a golf tournament.
A golf tournament?
Yeah, those always bring in high school teams a lot of money.
Yeah, right. Talent show?
Yeah, besides the basketball. Come watch us be good at other things.
Those are my suggestions for Calvin. So if you know Kelvin personally, if you know Kelvin personally, just shoot him a text.
I'm sure he's watching.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it for Becca's Adventure here on Bench Points. Be sure to check out her and Mary, Sam's wife, have a podcast called The Bench Has Spoken where they talk about Survivor. They got season 50 coming up in a couple weeks, which is a massive thing.
Yeah. So check it out. The Bench Has Spoken. We're on the same channel as Bench Points and Survivor. So pop on over, check us out. It's actually 19 days or 18 days until Survivor 50 premieres. So a lot of exciting stuff around that going on.
See y'all next week.
Bye.